We think of history as a story of kings and battles, but sometimes the most important moments are quiet acts of defiance by ordinary people. This is a story where the future of a nation wasn't decided by a powerful king, but by two women he considered powerless. In ancient Egypt, the Pharaoh issued a terrifying decree. Every newborn son among his Hebrew slaves was to be murdered. It was a genocidal command meant to erase their future. But faced with this evil, two midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, made a secret choice. This is the story of how they defied a king and saved a nation. Our story begins centuries after Joseph's time. The Hebrew people in Egypt had grown into a massive population. This alarmed the new Pharaoh, who saw them not as friends, but as a threat. His first plan was to break their spirit with slavery, forcing them to build his great store cities. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied. Pharaoh's plan backfired. So he devised a new, more sinister plot, targeting the moment of birth itself. Pharaoh summoned two Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, who were keepers of life. His command was chilling. When you deliver a Hebrew baby, if it is a son, you must kill him. He was ordering them to become his secret executioners in the sacred moment of birth. Refusing meant defying a dictator and facing death. They were trapped. But the Bible gives a simple answer for their choice. The midwives feared God and did not do as the king commanded them, but let the male children live. It was a quiet, determined rebellion, a profound act of civil disobedience born from faith. When Pharaoh saw his plan was failing, he summoned the midwives. "Why have you done this?" he demanded. "Why have you let the boys live?" Their lives were on the line. But they answered with incredible cleverness, playing on his own biases. "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women," they said. "They are vigorous and give birth before we can get there." It was a brilliant excuse that protected both the babies and themselves from the king's fury. Outsmarted, Pharaoh escalated his decree, ordering every newborn Hebrew boy thrown into the Nile. But the midwives' private victory was already won. The Bible says God rewarded their courage, giving them families of their own. Their true legacy was saving the generation that would include Moses. Because they let the boys live, the future deliverer of Israel survived. Their defiance was the foundation for the entire Exodus story. Shiphrah and Puah prove you don't need power to change the world. If this story of quiet courage inspired you, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What does courage look like in your life? The key to their courage was the fear of God. This isn't terror, but a reverence so deep that earthly fears like a king's anger seem small in comparison. God often uses the overlooked to do the extraordinary. Shiphrah and Puah were midwives, not queens, yet they were chosen to stand against a tyrant. Their story proves that true power isn't found on a throne, but in the moral courage of ordinary people who refuse to bow to evil